I've just uh, read a poem that I've. It's very dark. I'm going to start, and then the sky is looming grey. The tears just wet my shoes. The ground sighs can take no more. Just one gleam, reflected light. Anything to let the life go on. A tattered thread drifts into view. A focus away from the vast tableau. The little things unraveling. The ground sighs. Where is the thoughts? Where is the connection? My shoes sink further. Um, Obviously, a struggling day, that one. Um, and something that describes the way I feel sometimes, or deal with the emotions that go through life, and what you have to deal with. So I'm just going to move on to some quotes. Once you put everything into the right perspective, even bad times can be an opportunity to refresh your appetite, your desire. Alex Zanardi. Um, Again, it's a bit like the poem. Once you once you sort of put into words your feelings and how things feel, you can add perspective, context, and hopefully you can come out of these, um, not come out of them, but accept them. I think. Um, if you don't try, there's no opportunity to succeed. Katie Lintz. 1600. Basically it's an inscription on a ring in the British Museum from the 1600s. Let love abide till death divide. Um, yeah. I'm not going to express my views on death, mortality, religion, and other things, but you, whether you, no matter what you believe, um, death does actually either create a new start or put an end, or there is a change in that sort of state. Um, the smallest acts of kindness are worth more than the grandest intention. Oscar Wilde. Quite a poser, but you know, all of us are in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. It is true. Um, don't keep planning. You have to actually act on what if you're feeling and thinking, because you're not going to get the life or the things you want unless you act upon it, even if it's a roundabout way, helping your friend to then help yourself because you've got someone to be friends with. And the acts are, the way I think. I make choices in my life, so everything is about choices, but a choice in my mind denotes a certain action or inaction. Sometimes the best thing is to do nothing, but I work on a sort of choice matrix in my life. I choose to do this, I choose to do that, I'm choosing this. That way life doesn't keep making choices for me. So when you tear out a man's tongue, you're not proving him a liar. You're only telling the world that you fear what he might say. George R. R. Martin, actually a really nice author. Um, Very true. Um, and quite often when things are shut down very quickly, it does demonstrate or generate the thoughts that actually something's not right here. Um, It's something lighter to kind of finish with. Gene Wilder agreed to be Willy Wonka on one condition. Now, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is being redone and everything else, but the Gene Wilder one, I think it was sort of, I I think it was 60s, 70s. I'm not sure when it was done, but when Gilmardo was obviously alive. And he said he would have to include Wonka's entrance scene where he uses a cane. He then falls, does a somersault, and jumps back up. When asked why, he said, because from that time on, no one will know if I'm lying or telling the truth. It ties in nicely with actions and everything else, but it's I find it quite often in cinema and other things. People kind of go, oh, we've got to use our actors go, oh, we've got to use our position in the media and other things to influence and do things for right. But quite often the roles that they play aren't actually demonstrating their examples. Um, and that's a good thing. If you're portraying a damaged, or if you're in a war, or a damaged personality, or a family that is dysfunctional, I'm not talking about that, but this kind of, with Gene Wilder, kind of going, if I want to portray and get things across for the role and other things, too often now the most people believe that the actors are the ones that are doing things, but quite often it's the director. And to have that example of someone trying to subtly influence the way we view and look at art, because movies, Stanley Kubrick says, somehow we've convinced ourselves that we should only ever watch a movie once. Entertainment seems to have gone the same way as plastic. Why is plastic only ever used once? Because we socially believe it to be a disposable item, and something that I have hard drives of old movies where I kind of gone, I really want to watch that again. There are other movies where I kind of go, good movie, really enjoyed it, blah blah blah, but if it had a cliffhanger or something else, or a twist in it that once you know it, it kind of goes. I treat it as disposable. But yeah. Anyway, see you tomorrow.